I don't need to conform to things outside of who I am. Why? It's just unnatural. It doesn't come at ease. It causes more strife than it does anything else. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you can see by today's title, I really am talking about signs, you know, the divine, God himself. I'm talking about signs and things that have appeared to me that forced me to change. Like God, the universe was telling me it's time. Time is up. Time for a change and not to be stuck anymore. And you know, mainly this is a reflection of last year and how tumultuous it was. It was terrible. I'm just literally taking it day by day. I've never wanted this hard in my life before. So please, prayers up for me. But you know, it's okay. I'm okay because God is on my side. And if God is on my side, I'm okay. I'll be okay. I will be more than okay. Everything will be great. I'm gonna try, you know, this time to list all of the products that I use. I guess let's start with one of the first things that's happened to me last year, or like I said recently, that has forced me to change. And this is a pretty big one. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but so last year around November, I got fired. Yeah, I got fired for the first time in my life. In all the jobs that I've had, and I've had a lot of jobs. This was the first time I've ever gotten fired from anywhere. Even like let go. I've never even had that happen to me before. I've never ever had been fired. So when this happened, it was a real shock. And you know what's crazy though? I feel like that whole year, consistently, I was always asking for a sign. So I think, you know, that was one big fat sign. Like, what other sign is out there besides, oh, bitch, you lost your job and you have no income right now? Honestly, luckily, I am married, and so my husband takes good care of me, so that part is not bad. But the part of not being able to have something of my own is, it hurts me. It hurts me deep. But it's okay. So let me tell you the story of why I got fired. So I used to work at this little restaurant, I won't say the name, in Texas. And it was a cute little cafe. Me and my husband used to go there almost every week. We would have like little dates to just go and have breakfast, and we loved it so much because they had like very nice ambiance, they had nice coffee, they had a really great atmosphere. Everyone there just seemed so like nice and happy, and I was like, you know what, why don't I try like working here? Like, one of my friends suggested it when they came to visit me. She was like, why don't you just apply here and see what happens? And so I did, because I was also in a rut at that time of like not being able to find a job, and so I applied. And that was like one of the greatest news of the whole year, was actually getting a job. And I was so happy to have gotten it because I just had nothing else going for myself. I was like, even if it's this small thing, it's something, you know. And so I was grateful for it. And I started working there as a server, and again, I loved the food there, I loved the ambiance, I loved the environment. I really did love everyone there. Like, they were so sweet, and it was a time. I was always cracking jokes and doing things at work. Like, I was having a good time, but you know, not neglecting my job. I never neglect the job. I just have a good time while doing it and connect with my coworkers and while doing it, right? And so everything's going smoothly. I'm there for like 3 or so months at this point, and throughout the time I'm there, like, the owners would come in periodically, like let's say once every 2 months they would like show up, right? And the owners, there was like a good cop and a bad cop. The good cop, loved him, so sweet. You know, he always was chatting with everybody and was smiling and, you know, had a nice demeanor. The other one, that little bitch, if I see him, it's on sight. On sight. These hands are, he's catching the fade. But you know, I should let that anger go, right? Nah, that little bitch deserves a punch in the face. But anyways, the other one was a bad cop. Did not like him. Every time he showed up, it's like everyone was on needles. Like, no one could do their job properly. Everyone had to stick up their ass, and like that's the opposite of the environment that it is usually, because usually it's so like carefree, everyone does a good job, and like no one is tense, like there's no tension in the air. But when he comes, it's nothing but tension, it's nothing but strife. It feels like I'm in a different workplace, you know. But he's only there for a short amount of time when he comes. But there's one particular time the bad cop came. The bad cop owner came without the good cop, and so he was especially rude, especially just like nitpicky. And if anyone knows me, I don't like that. I don't like when people tell me what to do. I'm like, if I'm already doing it, don't tell me what to do. That defeats the whole purpose. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you obviously see me doing it. Why are you then gonna point it out and then tell me to do it? Bitch, I don't care who you are. I will slap you or say something. And so that's exactly what happened. I didn't slap. I didn't lay my hands on no one. But he came this one particular time. And, you know, if you've worked in the service industry, you know that you're not always on 100. You're not always smiling every 2, 4, 5 seconds, you know. You smile when you see your guests, and you smile occasionally, but when you're walking to and from, I have a straight bitch face. Sorry. Anyways, this particular time he came, and he never speaks to me directly if he ever has any issues. And this is how I know. Because I will see him speaking with our manager, and then, Lord and behold, a few minutes later, my manager comes up to me and it's like, hey Julie, I have this, that, and third problem. Mind you, he never talks to me directly about any issues. Like, he's one of those, like, hands-off managers that does not, I don't know. He doesn't speak unless you speak to him, right? That's how he is. And, you know, I'm cool with that. As long as you do the job, as long as you're not, like, pissing me off, as long as I'm getting paid, I'm okay. He never comes to me directly to say something is wrong or speak an issue. Like, because there never really is, unless that little bitch ass cop is there, bad cop is there. So he comes up to me that day particularly, and he tells me that I need to smile more, that I look upset. I'm like, upset? I'm not upset. I'm like, I just have RBF. So does everyone else. It's like so weird because, you know, it was the year 2024. Why are you telling a woman to smile more? I don't care if it's at the workplace. Do not tell me to smile more. The minute he said that to me, I kid you not, I cocked my head and I said, like this, like this. I grinned so hard. The way he was like, yeah. He was so pissed. I was like, I'll try to smile more. I really look like an advert from like Smile That Movie. I was just like so creepy, like, because I was pissed. I couldn't be like, don't tell a woman to smile more. You know, I was just like, who are you to tell me what to do in my face? That just irked me. And I knew it didn't come directly from him. That's the thing. I knew it did not come directly from him. I knew it came from that little bitch ass little man. Bad cop. That's what we call him, bad cop. And you know, that was one of the incidents. There wasn't really many other incidents, but that was one of them. That I just knew he did not like me. And then every other time he did come to visit, you know, bad cop, it was always something about how I looked. And this, you know how sometimes, you know, as a black person, you know when someone is like racist or has racist tendencies or has prejudice, like you just know it because of how they act and move around people of color, black people, like you can just, you see it, right? You peep their behavior when it comes to interacting with black people and then also interacting with non-black people. You see that. And I saw that. And a lot of other my black coworkers also saw that. We peeped that shit too. We just didn't have hardcore evidence or proof that he was. I knew he was, because it's like, why are you singling me out and telling me? Because I would speak to my coworkers about this, and I would speak to them about this, and they're like, what? Why would he say that about you? You know, like, he never said anything about that to me, yada yada, which is true. He doesn't go up to anybody else and tells them that they need to smile more, or tells his, like, or sends his minion off to tell them to smile more. He doesn't. He only does that to me. So I just thought that was off. Anyways, the firing. Fast forward, like, I think it's like a month or so later. We are preparing for a Friendsgiving, or like a potluck at work for Thanksgiving. And I go to Thanksgiving potluck. It's nice. Everyone is there, not the owners, but like, you know, the managers and my co-workers and everything. And it was great. It was nice. It was lovely. You know, we kikied, had some food, and you know, had a good night. The next day, I was not scheduled to work, so I just woke up and went to the gym like I usually do. And then at noon, I get a message from my manager. He never messages me outside of work. It's really odd for him to even speak to me, because I'm like, and in my head I'm like, he's gonna fire me. I just had a feeling, you know, I had a feeling, because I'm like, why else would he be contacting me outside of work hours? It's like to be like, hey, can I get you to cover someone's shift, right? But he didn't say that. If it was that, he would have just said that. No. Instead, it was, hey, can we have a quick chat on the phone? Quick chat. Okay, what's that about? So I'm like, yeah, let's have a chat. We have a chat. And basically the phone call is just him talking about how, you know, corporate's really cracking down on being late, yada yada. And I'm just like, what you mean about corporate? You mean bad cop? He's corporate. He's the owner. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you know, I've been on time pretty much every shift. I've showed up. I haven't like called out at all. I don't even call out for coverage. If I do need something, an emergency happens, I always get coverage for it. I pick up shifts. So I'm like, what's the issue? I was like, there was like 1 or 2 times I was about 3 minutes late and 5 minutes late. Mind you, we have a grace period of like, I think it's 5 to 10 minutes. So, and he pointed these 2 specific incidents out. And he said, I noticed that you were late on this day and this day. I was like, yeah, I was late 3 minutes. He's like, did you notify anybody? And I was like, no, because I was already in the Uber there. So I don't know why I need to notify somebody that I'm going to be there in 1 second. He's like, well, you should have notified somebody. And I was like, well, I was already walking through the door by the time it happened, but okay. Anyways, moving on. He's like, well, yeah, you know, corporate's really cracking down on, you know, people being late. And, you know, you did receive notice and you signed it a while ago talking about if you're late again, that you will be terminated. You know, and he has this like high-pitched voice. And I'm like, yes, I understand that, but you know, I understand we have grace periods, like yada yada. And he's like, yeah, but they're really cracking down. I was like, okay, what does that mean then? Just say it. You know, stop beating around the bush. And he goes, basically, yeah, we're terminating you and you will no longer be working here. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna come in this Thursday for my shift. Cause you know, I knew that was happening. And he's like, yeah. And I just laughed because I was just like, I also in my head, I was like, you know, there's so many people I know that are late all the time, yet they're not getting reprimanded at all. And I did mention it to him too in the conversation. I was like, you know, there are other people who are late too. I didn't say names, but I did say there are others who are late all the time. Are they also being reprimanded? He's like, well, I'm just focusing on you right now. Can't talk about everybody else. I was so pissed. I was like, okay. But you know, instead of like crying or being upset about it, I just laughed. I was laughing on that call. I was just like, okay, if that's it, then bye. Like, leave me be, you know, I'm done. Like, good riddance, actually. Good fucking riddance. But yeah, I got fired. And it was just crazy to me because I got fired for being late 3 minutes. 3 minutes. When they have a grace period. So yeah, that shit was crazy. In all of my life, I've never gotten fired, and for it to be a fucking cafe, not even something serious, nothing serious happened. You just fired me from a cafe. It wasn't paying nothing but 1 credit card bill anyways, but still, it's the principle. It's the fact that, you know, they still had the audacity to really cut the ties. I was like, I just knew it really wasn't him. When he said corporate, I knew he was talking about bad cop. That man did not like me. That man was a racist. I'm gonna say it. He was a racist. That was one of the biggest signs recently that told me that I really needed to change. Because after that happened, I started applying to other jobs. Not really restaurant jobs, but I just started applying to everything that I seen. And me and my husband one day went to yoga. This yoga class, the instructor, he was instructing us on how to like meditate and like to think about, you know, positive things and where we can envision our life and all this stuff. And in my head while I was meditating, I was just like, New York, New York, New York. Like, I could see New York, I could hear New York. I just, like, I lived in New York for so long, but like in my head I was just like, if there's any place where I'm going to start anew again with ample opportunity, it just has to be New York. I was just like, there's no other place, I fear, where I can really make all that I want to happen with the resources so readily available. I think like anything you want, you can do here, right? And I knew that from the first time moving here. And so I was just like, this yoga class was just another sign. It was just like, that meditation really was like, I need to go back. I was like, I need to go back. Like it was as clear as day. That was like the clearest sign that I got. That was just like, yeah, you can't, like, this thing in the South is just going to drive you insane, and it's going to slow any progression. Like I knew that in my head. I knew that. And luckily, you know, when I spoke to my husband about it, he was on the same page. And you know, he's like, you know, I never wanted to move here anyways. And I was like, okay, sweet. So we're on back. And yeah, we decided to come back, and literally it was like, it happened, it all happened so fast. And as soon as we made that decision to come back, I started applying to jobs again. For the first time in like 8-9 months, I was getting interviews after interviews after interviews. Obviously all in New York. And I was like, another fucking sign. Like, I would apply to so many places in Texas, in the 2 cities that we were in, or the city that I was in, and the city that we wanted to move in. We wanted to move to Austin. I would apply, and I would hear nothing. It was crickets. And like, it's not like I have like a shit resume, or that I don't have experience, or that I'm not capable. Like, I understood that like the job market was really bad too at the time, and it kind of still is. It was the fact that like I was getting nothing for so long, and I started to think that is something wrong with me, that I was getting one, ghosted, and 2, rejected again and again and again and again. Like, I just didn't understand why that just kept happening to me. And like, it's really never happened to me before in my past. Like, anytime I wanted a job, God, I was blessed. Anytime I wanted a job, very quick to happen. Like, I remember one time I quit a job because they were trying me. I think I talked about it. Yeah, I talked about it in my previous video. They were trying me, I quit. And next thing you know, it's not even that long. Like probably 2 weeks later, I had another job. So this time when it wasn't working out, when it wasn't happening, I started to doubt myself and doubt what my purpose was and why nothing was really happening for me or working out for me. I just was like, is it this place? Is it me? Is it what is it? Like, I just started questioning everything. And so when I started getting more interviews in New York for New York roles, I was like, that's another sign. Right? I might not have a job yet. I might not like have something set up in stone for New York, but the fact that the only traction I'm getting, and mind you, I was applying everywhere. I wasn't also just applying like in Texas. I was also applying in LA. I was applying for roles across the country, and nothing. The only place where it obviously resonated was New York, and where I got some traction in this really horrible job market. And so I just obviously took that as a sign, an opportunity for me to move back. And everything happened so fast. When I tell you it happened so fast, like deciding to move and then looking at apartments, finding apartments, touring apartments virtually, applying for apartments, like, you know, happened within like 2 weeks. And then we got approved for the apartment, all within 2 weeks. I was like, if it's happening with ease like this, it's God's hands, you know. It's meant to be if it's happening with such ease. Like, I thought there would be some sort of pushback, something going against the grain for us to come back here, but it just, everything opened up so easily to come back, except for a job. It just told me that, yeah, this is the change that I needed. Again, towards the end of the year too, is like, I was becoming more creative and posting more on social media. I've always, obviously I talk about fashion, how much I love it. Always been a fashion girl since, like, I don't know, the womb, I guess, because my mom is kind of like a very flamboyant and fashiony lady. She loves color, she loves shapes, and she loves putting on a good outfit. She will put on a good outfit to go to Walmart. Like, that's how she is, and I think that's where I get it from. So ever since I can remember, I love to take pictures of myself. I love to getting dressed, doing my hair, you know, the girly things. But I feel like last year specifically, I started to really hone in on, you know, my outfits and being intentional with the clothes that I'm wearing and how I'm posting, how many times I'm posting. Like, I really sat down and like started to try to, like, you know, build a platform or try to become an influencer. Obviously none of this happens overnight, and there were times I was very inconsistent, and majority of the year I was inconsistent, but you know, the 1 month that I was consistent, there was progress. And so I think another big sign for this move was the fact that I was more creative and my style evolved, and I was becoming more free and happy with my clothes. And honestly, like, that for me is my medium when it comes to an art form. You know, other people like to paint, other people like to draw, other people like to music, film. For me, it's clothes. It's always been clothes. And so last year I really started to hone in on that, and I was like, this is great, this is fun, I love it. And I was always happy doing it, and it brought paid influencer jobs. Like, I finally got paid multiple, not just once, not just twice. Like, I had like one repeating like job, 2, 3, like I had 4 jobs within like the 6 months that I was like consistent and inconsistent, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my god, this another sign. This is what I should be doing. Like, you know, creative things that bring me, not only bring me joy, but are true to who I am. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I'm learning that forced me to change, is that I don't need to conform to things outside of who I am. Why? It's just unnatural. It doesn't come at ease. It causes more strife than it does anything else. I just stick to what I know, what I love, and what's true to who I am. And obviously that's fashion. So the biggest sign is really getting paid and getting some sort of recognition for that. I was really happy when that happened. I was like, this is what I should be doing. This is what I should be doing, like, all the time. And so I feel like the job interviews, the getting fired, what else happened? Oh, yoga. I feel like all of that led to me moving back here. But I'm thinking now, obviously I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. You never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But I'm thinking now, I wanna be, you know, have more faith in God. And I realized that when I did have more faith, I was prospering way more. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen next, but I was okay because I knew God had my back. And so as I'm getting back to that and having that faith again, I'm realizing that maybe those interviews that I all had that I thought was going to lead to a role or lead to a position was just a way for God to push me back to New York, right? Because I kept saying I need signs. I'm not gonna come back here if I don't know something's going to happen, that there's gonna be movement. And so I think that was a way to just say, hey, there's movement there. That's where you need to go. That's where it needs to be. That's where you need to be. And because now that I'm here, I've been trying to get a job. And it's still hard as fuck. It's just like, me as a woman, and I will preach this all the time. Like, I know in our culture nowadays, it's like, people always want to like chase after a man with money. You know, everything's about a man providing for you, providing for your life. Like, you don't need to lift a finger, yada yada. Like, which is great. I think men should be providers. That's what they should be, are providers and protectors. I agree with that 100%. But at the end of the day, for your own well-being as a woman, you should always have something for yourself. Always. No matter what, you should always, obviously, we all want to be loved. We all want to be cherished. Always go for someone who will love you, cherish you, and is like not greedy. Someone who is so generous with what they have, because when they do have a lot, they will give you so much. And even when they have a little, they will give you so much, because that's how much they just love and care for you. Like, I am loved and I am appreciated. And I'm grateful for the relationship that I have because I'm able to sit here and record this YouTube video and not be forced to like get whatever slave job that is out there in order to pay rent or pay this or pay that. I have someone who supports me and who's like, hey, don't worry about that. Try to do this, this, and the third. I believe in you and I support you, which is great. But I always wanted something for myself. Like I always wanted to build something for me and mine. And I think this is the time that I have to do it and go full force in my creative pursuits, because everything has been aligning and everything has been opening up for this change, for this transformation, shall I say, because I've been getting more creative. Doors have been opening up slowly but surely. I've changed how I've thought about things in order for me to grow in the way that I want to grow, right? Before in the past, I used to second guess myself all the time. I used to think that I'm not good enough, comparing myself to other people, like worrying about like what other people are gonna think or what they're gonna say. Like now, I'm so happy. I've gone to the point now where I don't care. I don't care what they're gonna say. I'm like, all I can care about is making my dream life a reality. And that's by doing something every single day that gets me there. Right? There is no more quitting, there is no more crying, there is no more questioning. I'm just doing. It's all about action. And that's the only way that something can change. Because what do they say? Nothing changes if nothing changes. And so, gotta change. Gotta change how you eat, gotta change how you do things in order to see progress. And I'm learning that. Especially now that I'm back in New York and I'm like, if I really want my dreams to come true, I have to put some actions into it, right? There's like last year, I was so inconsistent. I was on hot and cold. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, and I was only giving myself 30 days. I would set time limits. If I am consistent for 30 days and this goes well, then I'll continue. If not, I quit. Like that's the constraint I put in my head, and I'm like, this time I can't do that. I just have to keep going no matter what. I'm going to fail over and over and over and over again. I know failure is a part of the process to succeed. Like no person who is successful was successful on their first try. And if they were, they're liars. They're liars. Most people fail before they succeed. And so I'm like, you know, I'm gonna fail. I know it's going to happen, but it's just about getting back up over and over and over again until I succeed. I don't care how long it takes this time. This time, I'm not putting those constraints on me. This time, I'm just not stopping. And that comes to every aspect of my life. And you know, the beautiful part is y'all gonna be along for this journey, because for the first time in my life, I'm talking to others outside of my circle. Let me put it that way. Usually. And the thing is, I always wanted to do YouTube, and I always wanted to be able to really express my thoughts in a place. Obviously people judge, right? So I'm not gonna say without judgment, but I'm gonna say in a place where I can be authentic and the right audience will just come to me. That's how I feel. I feel like that's what's going to happen if I just keep going and not stopping. And so I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going. And y'all gonna keep seeing me. You're gonna see me until I either make it or I'm dead. I think it was Kelly Uchis. She said this in one of her songs. She said, if I'm alive, I'm gonna keep going. Something like that. Or it's like, if I'm not dead, then I'm gonna keep going. Something like that. So I'm not dead, so I'm gonna keep going. Because the only option in this life for me is to make my dream come true. Or to die trying. I think I'm done settling. I'm done settling. I'm done coddling other people and their feelings. You know, one might say this might be my villain era, but I don't think I'm gonna be a villain. I think I'm just going to be more authentic and lead with that, and stop trying to be something I'm not, and stop doing things that are not true to me. Like working. Just kidding. But you know, maybe God don't want me to work for real though. Like maybe he don't want me to have a real job. Like maybe he's just like, girl, you need to do this influencing thing. You're gonna be successful. Just keep going. I got you. And start my company and start designing more and really get back into sewing and creating. I know that's what I'm meant to do, guys. I know I'm meant to have my own company, my own fashion company, and like have it flourish. I feel it in my bones. Like I know that's what I'm meant to do. And for so long, I've just been so scared. Because it's like, you know, deep down in your guts when you're meant to be successful. And I know deep down that I'm meant to be successful. I was just so scared for so long. And I think I finally shifted my mindset, right? Changed my environment, changed my circumstances, changed how I thought about everything. And now I'm no longer scared because I know that that's what I'm meant to be doing. I know that I'm supposed to be living in my truth and my purpose. Because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what if these great artists, never pursued their art? What if Kendrick never decided to rap? What if, SZA didn't want to sing? What if Dolce decided not to rap? What if Beyonce was like, I don't want to sing anymore? Like, what if all these people who brought so much art and joy into our lives decided that they never wanted to do it? Because then we wouldn't have them. In my opinion, most of them are one of a kind. And, there could be other people who come in and do the same thing that they do and pursue that same path, but they don't do it like they do it. You know what I mean? And it made me really think, yeah, there might be so many brands out there that are trying to just make it off the ground and do this, that, and third. But they're not me. And no matter what I do, I know that when it comes to building my fashion brand one day, that I will become great and people will be impacted and they probably will think the same. What if Julie never started? What if Julie decided never to do this? Then they would never get to enjoy the things that I create. Or they would never be impacted by that. And so I think about that now as I go about my life. I have these dreams for a reason. I have these gifts for a reason. To not pursue them wholeheartedly would be a crime against myself. You know what I mean? It would be a disservice to me. And I can't do that to myself. I cannot disappoint myself anymore. I cannot put myself on the back burner for nothing. No. It's time to take up that space. And it might not be the best time, but hell, it's the right time because everything seems like it's just not working out for me and I have nothing else to lose. So why not, right? Why not pursue it wholeheartedly? Because I literally have no choice. So this year's about change. This year's about doing. This year's about action. And this video was about the signs that pointed me all in that direction. I'm gonna finish my eye makeup off camera. So I finished my eyes. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me yap. I hope that this has helped you in some way, shape, or form, or maybe you were entertained somehow throughout this video, or you learned something. Either or, it's good with me. As long as I'm able to show up authentically and someone enjoys this, I think it's worth it. And even if they don't enjoy it, hell, I liked it. That's all that matters. But if you did like this and you want to see more of me, please just like and subscribe because I will be here every week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.